First, we're going to break down Elon Musk's $1 trillion compensation package. Is this a disaster for Tesla shareholders?
All right, Badger, this is good. This is good because I heard this news and then I did other things instead of looking into it. And that's why I hire you. That's why I pay you the big bucks. So,
You pay me a
so,
trillion dollars?
and yeah, Tesla is one of my potential 10x companies. So I need to know, is this good? Is this bad? Is this ugly? What's happening here?
Well, I mean, if you want a 10x from your Tesla investment, this is probably good because suddenly, like Musk has reinvigorated his pay package. Here it goes. He has got a mammoth pay proposal from the board with a whole bunch of milestones he has to achieve around increasing the market cap of the company from $2 trillion up to $8.5 trillion at the highest milestone, and also delivering a whole bunch of operational milestones, which involve not just like the sci-fi stuff like robots and AI, but also just delivering cars, which is like the core of the company today. So this is good if you believe he can deliver on these goals, and this is going to deliver you your 10x for Tesla. And he
And
only
Badger,
gets paid when shareholders get paid. Sorry.
sorry, just one note. At the moment, Tesla is at a $1.14 trillion company just for so to get to 2 trillion is approximately 100%.
Yeah, and that's his first milestone. He's got to deliver a $2 trillion market cap, and he's got to deliver 20 million vehicle deliveries to hit his first milestone and get paid like the first tranche of what's going to amount to like a significant $1 trillion pay award. I dug into some of the nuances of this though, because you could read it and you could go, okay, this is either I kind of believe in this and we want Musk in the company, or this is just like nonsense and like how dare any human believe that they're worth like $1 trillion. And like love it, like it or not. So this is a proposal from the board. It's going to come to I suppose, the AGM, which is like the annual meeting, which is I think November, and it has to get voted on. And then the board are like recommending that shareholders vote in favor of this. Like Musk doesn't currently have a long-term performance award. You might remember that one that he did have that he achieved against like all expectations, and then it got canned by, was it the Delaware courts, after like a I guess a bunch of activist investors got behind like one retail investor and said, okay, like file a case, and as a consequence of that, I don't think Musk got paid. And as a consequence of that, the company is re-domiciled to your home state of Texas, right? Yeah. I guess Musk has to believe that under the new Texas domicile, if he earns this, he's actually going to get paid it because he's on the line for essentially the next 10 years to be like lead this company to these incredibly challenging goals. Like there is no argument this will be very, very hard to achieve all of these goals. And I think they're pretty good goals, actually. Like you can game the market cap, but Musk has to sustain a market cap at each of these levels for 6 months. And like I think there's like a quarterly review. At each quarterly review point, like the last 6 months, average market cap has to be above the milestone, and also the last 30 days average market cap has to be above the milestone. So you can kind of game market cap a little bit as a CEO, but not for an extended period of time. I would have preferred that it was like enterprise value because maybe there's some shenanigans they can pull with like debt or something. But I think these are reasonable milestones, and I'm a fan of them. He also has to stick around for a long time. Like, I think he's only going to fully vest the shares on the 10th anniversary of them being granted. So, like, he's on board with the company and he has to lead the company throughout that period. And I don't think he's taking a salary or any cash bonuses. Like, this is the entirety of his compensation. You can say, okay, like, the guy is obviously like 100 billionaire already. Like, he's very, very wealthy and he has a ton of Tesla stock. So like he benefits when we all do. But this is still significant. Like he could leave the company today. He owns a ton of stock and then it goes where it goes and he's still got the benefit. And so this is going to be like his main focus. And I think that's what I like most. And I had to dig into the appendix of this like nearly 400-page document to see the one thing I was looking for, which is the board are holding Musk to well, they've received assurances, they document in the appendix, that his involvement with the political sphere will wind down in a timely manner. I think that's what probably all shareholders want. We don't want Musk like starting new political parties and like sticking his big foot into that world. And so I think this compensation award probably does the right thing in terms of getting him to like can it and focus on the company itself, which I can only be a good thing for shareholders.
All right, Badge, a few things. First, with regarding the political thing, I mean, what's the phrasing and how can they sort of prove that to be the case? It seems kind of squishy to me. I like directionally where it's heading, but is this like a real thing?
That is really interesting because there is a shareholder proposal for political neutrality, and the board are recommending that shareholders vote against that. So when you're a shareholder of a company, like you can put forward proposals that the annual meeting has to vote on. And I don't know the mechanics of it for Tesla, but if there's enough support, then something officially goes on the agenda and it gets voted on by shareholders. So, so a group of shareholders have proposed that the company and Musk be officially politically neutral. And the board are recommending against that, they say in this document, because it is, for the reasons you said, it's kind of unenforceable. It's almost impossible to judge. There's so much nuance. So it's kind of ungovernable. So I think the language in the appendix is probably more sensible. It's essentially, it literally says, ultimately, the committee believes it's critical to Tesla to secure Musk's commitment and to receive assurances that Musk's involvement with the political sphere will wind down in a timely manner, and then blah, 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 some other stuff. So it is like soft and squishy, and it's more like a directional aspiration. And it's probably enough that if Musk were to really like go bananas, let's say he launched his third political party and really made that like a big focus of his mission, that would clearly be against the spirit of this commitment that he's presumably made to the board, because they say in the appendix they had like 12 meetings with Musk to work through this and agree like the finessing of this thing. So if he kind of ignores that bit, then they're probably within their rights to cancel other aspects of the award as well.
Okay, that's huge. That's why I wanted to ask you. I haven't kept up with the latest soap opera, Musk soap opera, and I wasn't sure whether he and the board are in alignment or whether they're trying to put some activist reins on him or what that dynamic was. But if they've been meeting so much, then clearly he had to at the least like sort of turn neutral in those conversations and allow that to be included. So that's good news. Here's what I think a lot of people are wondering, or at least normal people. uh, they're like, well, if this guy has hundreds of billions of dollars, what difference does this make? And the way I understand this, Badge, is that after a certain point, we're talking about existential meaning of life stuff. And as in poker, the money in some ways is not the point, it's how you keep score, right? It could be peanuts, but it happens to be money. And in this case, sure, an extra $100 billion will not do anything for Musk because I mean, really, you can only buy so many whatevers, right? I was going to say like Corvettes, but in his case, maybe Cybertrucks or and he probably gets those for free anyway. So why does this make any difference for us? And I do think knowing the people who run your companies well, we know this guy operates on a different software system, and he's one of his main goals in life is colonization of Mars slash outbeating Bezos, and every additional 100 billion is important to him for reasons that have nothing to do with like call it this typical bank account, right? And that's important to know because if you don't know that, then you might think like, yeah, whatever, but this really would motivate him.
Yeah, and like he said clearly, and actually even says in that same appendix at the end of this big document, during negotiations, Musk reiterated that it was crucial that he both acquire at least a 25% voting interest in Tesla and assurances that it will get paid for like the past performance award. So it's less about money, or it's about money, obviously, but it's as much about control of like the direction of this organization. And it says in the again in the appendix, Musk also raised the possibility that he may pursue his other interests and leave Tesla if he did not get such assurances. So yeah, like control of the company, and he has got like XAI where he's doing a bunch of interesting stuff, and he's got SpaceX and Neuralink. Like there's been talk that maybe there are some initiatives that could really sit in any of these boxes, and there's stuff that Tesla shareholders will want him to do as part of the Tesla entity. And if he hasn't got enough control over Tesla, he's essentially threatened to say, well, I'm going to do these things, these AI things elsewhere. So, it is about kind of aligning his interests with Tesla so much to make it like his favorite toy. So he does all the interesting stuff with that toy, not with some other toy.
So net net, what's your take? Good, bad? How many bananas we given this move for Tesla shareholders, or Badger acorns, or whatever? How do you keep score? What is it that
Good.
acorns?
I like it. I like it because if he succeeds, we succeed, and there might be a little bit of gamesmanship between like the lines, but the essence of this, like no one believed he would, or at least the market in general didn't believe he would deliver like the old performance award, and he smashed it. So if he can deliver this one, and we're looking at like an $8.5 trillion company, not only will you have achieved your 10x portfolio for one of your like rows on the spreadsheet, but we'll all be significantly richer as shareholders. So I'm happy.
Yeah, and you know what I forgot too is because of the political clusterfuck of the last, what is it now, 2 years going on 2 years or whatever. How I've been following Tesla since got over 10 years now, I think, and that sort of younger, hungry, lean Musk, that was literally sleeping on a factory floor meme stuff that wasn't a meme because the guy's crazy in that way. Like to get him back to that space with Tesla, focused would be huge, because he still has the most levers and the most leverage of probably any CEO in the world. I mean, to try to attain these massive, massive missions. So it's exciting. This is good. This is good. I feel a little more positive about my Tesla holdings.
Great.